It's funny how many Americans here think you can just leave the US. As in the thread the other day about, why aren't you just leaving? It's not like you can travel from US to Spain the same way you just take a car or plane from California to Florida. And you can't just randomly retire in any county either. Just must fulfill different income criteria and sometimes prove knowledge about culture or language. I mean, even though we have free movement in Europe, you can stay for maximum 3 months in a country. Unless you have enough money or a job to support yourself. Sure, there is no limit to it. So if you can survive on $200, then fine. But even in between, those rules exist on paper. Is there some newspapers or something writing about this, or why do people even have this idea? It's an example of people talking about a subject they know nothing about. Emigrating can range anywhere from hard to impossible depending on where you want to move to. Most people I know that have done it had help from their employer. There should be an exchange system where Americans who want to leave can trade places with all the people trying to get into the US. Kind of like a swap meet. I can't take anyone seriously who wonders why people don't just move to new countries. Shows a total disconnect from the reality of what it takes to move internationally. I think it is why many Americans also have no empathy for immigrants in the US. When you realize that should a dictator take over, or whatever, and you need to flee the US to another country, you are stuck begging to be allowed in. It helps to give one empathy for immigrants coming to America. I mean, someone begging to just let their kids in is unfathomable to them. Yet I can easily see why one might do that. But many people fail to see that the immigrant could be them one day and thus struggle to have any empathy for immigrants coming here today. Anyway, that is my 2 cents. I also think many Americans just plainly fail to think. Though I don't find that funny at all. Not only that, US citizens have to pay US taxes on their income wherever they live and earn their money on Earth. You could be a US expat living in Europe earning and paying taxes in Europe and still be required to give Uncle Sam a cut. Truly no escape. And it isn't like you can just get a job once there. This is illegal as a traveler and need a special visa. And that visa is temporary. Then, you are also moving, which means you are going to need way more money than just a small travel. Possibly buying everything from scratch or trying to ship that. Americans for the most part believe they are the greatest country in the world and anyone will be happy to have them, not realizing it's expensive to move to another country. The other thing is that the vast majority of countries are tough when it comes to immigration and will only allow people with specific skillets. Some countries don't even have a road for immigrants to get citizenship unless they marry someone that is already a citizen. I wish my wife would read this. Every time she gets mad about something political, she wants to move. I keep trying to tell her that the countries she wants to move to are equally messed up and that radical right-wing extremism is a global problem and almost every country has their Trump. She doesn't believe me. The amount of down votes I've got for pointing out that even as Europeans we can't just rock up anywhere with zero conditions on staying permanently. Even post-Brexit, moving from the UK to Bulgaria, I did, it's basically the same requirements. This has been endlessly frustrating for me to watch talked about in this sub. You absolutely cannot just pick up a plane ticket and move to another country. You have to have some kind of essential skills that make you desirable to other countries. You also have to be in good health and not carrying a tremendous amount of debt. Though there are some exceptions to both of those requirements. For myself, I have a highly sought-after degree in healthcare and there is a nearly worldwide shortage of people with my training and experience. I could fairly easily transfer my license to another country and get a job. I've looked into this by speaking with a lawyer specializing in immigration law. And if things get much worse here, I'm going through with it once my student loans are forgiven through PSLF. My husband is also in a good position for leaving the US. He has an engineering degree and is eligible for licensure in a number of countries. His specific engineering discipline makes him extraordinarily desirable. His student debt is also close to being forgiven through PSLF. Even with our far better than average situation, leaving the US will be difficult and expensive. We also won't earn as much money, though some of that is offset by other factors depending on where we go, and that's something we're willing to accept due to our feelings about things. Part of it is that they have lived with open borders their whole lives and they think it is as easy to relocate to another country as it is to move from Ohio to Texas. It's mostly just something they have heard over and over for their whole lives, and repetition is easier than thinking. That assumption isn't surprising considering most of the posts and comments on this sub seem to be from folks with little understanding and awareness of the world. Local EU subs are great to see the Americans in action. As if you just could go anywhere you want and expect there are no visa rules. Hey, I'm mid-30, have no qualification and speak no German. I want to move in the end of the year. Even if they manage to come and jump the hoops, they leave again because they don't learn the language or stay with other Americans and Brits. For some reason, the natives dislike to be treated as servants. True enough, my wife and I want to leave the country, but the more we dig into what we have to do, the more daunting the challenge becomes. Definitely not impossible, but as usual, it's much easier for the wealthy. People don't really understand just how lenient the US immigration system is compared to so many other countries. Edit. So I have been proven wrong, and have also learned some new things. It may irritate me, but I am willing to admit when I'm wrong and have been corrected. I'm not going to change anything else on this post, so if anyone else has the same thoughts I did, they can see the comment thread. It's not funny. It's an embarrassment that our education system is so bad that people will think anything without logic or reason to back up their statements. Do it like the rest of us, stow away on a ship west or eastbound. We are leaving on October. It's been a massive undertaking, big headache, and certainly work will limit the majority of people. I met my UK husband on social media years ago, and I have been in the UK for over 10 years. I got lucky falling in love with somebody who wasn't in America. The only ways into Europe are marriage or a work license of some kind. If you have an Irish or Italian grandparent, you can get citizenship from those countries. You can easily leave, just will have to be be nomadic and not outstay your welcome in any country lol. You could totally stay in 24 or more Latin American countries each year, volunteering at hostels or farms for a place to sleep and food to eat. Wouldn't be a glamorous lifestyle, but it certainly is possible to escape the rat race. Maybe you'd even find a significant other in one of these countries that would lead towards setting down roots. GTFO here with your logic and sense. You don't like it, why aren't you leaving? This is Reddit.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.